Nationals 2012 campaign. A successful season thus far carried by the best staff in baseball and an offense that never seems to give up. All-star Gio Gonzalez leads the way today, looking to keep the Nats in the fight.
Washington Nationals baseball.
Hot town, summer in the city. Nats Park, it's a Saturday afternoon. I might want to go head first into that. Hydrating everybody in the ballpark in the right field corner. Not a whole lot of shade down there. And they're ready for the Nats and the Colorado Rockies, who put one on Washington last night. Hitting streak and the winning streak came to an end, Bob and FP. But the first half has been spectacular. I don't know, beyond your expectations, we had a lot of hopes coming out of spring training.
Yeah, when you look at 15 games over 500, best record in the National League, I think maybe beyond everybody's expectations, but you knew it was going to be a fun season. You knew the Nationals were going to be good. They're just a game and a half right now behind the Yankees, who started the day at 50-32 for the best record in baseball. So a lot of great stats right there, but the best one on top, it's all about wins, 48-33.
One number not on there, it's the number 3. The Nats are in the top 3 in the National League in team defense over the long haul. That is huge. And guys like Gio Gonzalez pitching whatever the weather appreciate that great D behind him.
Yeah, we'll keep our eye on Gio. Did a nice job last time out in Atlanta in 101 degree heat today, 104 degrees, so we'll keep an eye on how he lasts out there. But look at the numbers. As he heads to the All-Star game, 11 wins, that's second most in Major League Baseball. 4 home runs allowed only, that's the least by a starter with 91 innings pitched or more, and the opponent average 195 against. He's done it all, so hopefully Gio gets a W today.
And he even smiles when he's warming up. You got to love this guy. Ryan Zimmerman went deep again last night. Over his last 12 games, 5 homers and 17 RBIs. The Nats have hit 88 long balls, 5th best National League. And brought to you by Jeep. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. And by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. I'll tell you what's possible. Playing baseball on a sizzling hot day. It's what's going to happen today. Good crowd still coming down from the Navy Yard Station. Nats fans have been turning out in droves recently to watch this first place ball club. Visit Train.com for an independent Train comfort specialist dealer near you. Hard to stop a Train. 23% humidity is the only thing saving us from 104 degrees on the field today. The Rockies are second in the National League in batting average and in runs. They're first in home runs. And Tyler Colvin has been amazing against the Nats. 10 for 17. 2 of his 3 home runs here last night. 4 games, 9 RBIs. They have him in right field as Michael Kadire plays first base today. Against Gio Gonzalez, who in 6 innings gave up 8 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned in his only career start against the Rockies at Coors Field last road trip.
Last time out on Sunday in Atlanta, he earned the 8-4 win. That was in 101-degree heat. He allowed 4 runs on 5 hits over 5 innings, struck out 7, walked 1 through 102 pitches, 65 for strikes. 2-seam fastball, 4-seam fastball, curve change is what the Rockies will see from Gio Gonzalez today. That set the defense for the Nationals behind Gio Gonzalez. Moore, Harper, Morse in the outfield. Desmond Zimmerman on the left side. Espinoza, LaRoche on the right side. And Jesus Flores doing the catching. And a big key in the game today for both starting pitchers, keep your defense off the field. If you can have quick innings, get them back in the dugout. For obvious reasons, it's a hot day. Get them back in there. Get them off their feet. Whoever spends the least amount of time on defense today wins the game. It's that simple.
13-year veteran Mike DeMuro has home plate today. Tough assignment. Jim Reynolds, James Hoy, and crew chief Jim Joyce are on the bases. We'll see the umpires going into either dugout from time to time for a little between innings relief as well. So the Rockies are hitting .269. They've scored 408 runs, but they've given up a staggering 472. Gio gets a strike, and this one underway at 406. Rockies on the road, 14-26. The Nats at home, 23-15. Breaking ball is in there. 4 other National League games will be underway in the next 5 minutes, including the Cubs at the Mets and the Marlins at St. Louis. Atlanta, Philadelphia later tonight. The Nats are 4.5 up on the Mets and 5 on the Braves. Dexter Fowler hitting at .288. He's 4 for his last 8. Make it 5 out of 9. He cracked a base hit and a homer here in his last 2 times last night, so he has 3 consecutive hits.
Now coming into today, he's reached base safely 30 times in his last 17 games, so make it 31 times in his last 18. A high fastball from Gonzalez with 2 strikes. Does a nice job of getting on top of that baseball. We talked about it last night. No more leg kick from Fowler, keeping that foot close to the ground has allowed him to get that barrel right to the baseball. Yeah, he's now hitting around .290 with an on-base percentage of around .380. Plus power, 11 homers and 7 steals, everything you could ask for in a leadoff man. And we saw last night he plays a very good center field. Showing bunt, taking a strike, Marco Scutaro, who can really handle the bat in that number 2 spot. Scutaro saw a lot of Gio in the American League. 2 for 12 with an RBI career against him. Fowler with a medium-sized lead. Holding. Gio actually had him going backwards, and the count's 1-1. By the way, Gio Gonzalez, a possible personal milestone today, looking for his 50th career win. And after a long look, he had the base runner going backward again, but he missed way outside. 2-1. Now the Rockies have a good running hitting count to work with. Yeah, long look at the sign from Scutaro right there. There's a double take. We're starting to get in the box. Look back one more time for the sign. Sometimes that's a dead giveaway that something's on.
Scutaro hitting at .280. Good contact man. dangerous hitters on deck in Gonzalez and Cuddyer. And suddenly the pace of this one has slowed considerably once that leadoff guy gets on base. Boy, that changes everything at the start of a game. A long look for the sign and a 2-1 pitch. Runner holding. Then he made a late break and the ball was fouled off. That was kind of strange by Fowler.
But that was a hit and run. You can't get picked off on a hit and run as a base runner. Fowler waited until the last second to make sure that Gio Gonzalez was going to the plate. So as a base runner, you can't get picked off. So a little jab step back. You're relying on the hitter to put the ball in play. And that second look from Scudero to his third base coach, Rich Dower, told everybody that the hit and run was on.
Target inside half. Runner going again. Ground ball to Zimmerman. That'll keep him out of a double play. Ryan to LaRoche for that always important first out.
And that one was more of a run and hit, a 2-strike count. Big curveball from Gonzalez. Fowler got a pretty good jump, a lot better than the first one. That was a straight steal. Only play for Zimmerman at first base. A productive out from this 2-hole hitter, Marco Scudero.
Lefty-lefty matchup, but a tough one with Carlos Gonzalez. He walked, singled, and doubled last night. Stole third after his double in the 8th inning. Scored 2 runs. And Carlos Gonzalez is 2 for 3 career with an RBI against Gio.
He's batting .357, 92 for .258 with 34 extra base hits since April 24th. And he's hit safely in 21 of 23 games since June 8th. .383 average. First base open. Gonzalez probably going to be a little bit careful right here.
On a day when you want your pitch count to stay reasonable. And Gio has been here, done that. He was on the mound when it was 100 degrees at game time in Atlanta last Sunday. Pretty good job of jamming the left-handed hitter. In that game, Gonzalez went 5+ through 114 pitches. But the Nats already had a bunch of runs on the board. That made things a little easier. We'll look for Ryan Zimmerman to hit for some more power against Rockies pitching today. Michael Cuddyer, who's on deck, 5 hits, a homer, 3 RBIs against Gio. And wouldn't you love to see Tyler Clippard on the mound in the 9th inning to keep a streak going? 1 ball, 1 strike. A chopper. Nats hope it stays fair, but it won't. Strike 2.
Well, if you've ever played in a game like this and you're standing on defense, obviously a warm day, you're okay for about 3 or 4 innings. It's late in the game if you're standing out there in the sun for long periods of time that your concentration starts to falter. You start to get tired mentally. You start to get tired physically. So like I said earlier, if you can keep your team off the field on defense, you got a good chance of winning this game.
Good breaking ball for the strikeout. Down low on 1 and 2. 2 down.
And Carlos Gonzalez walking back to the Rockies dugout saying, I did not see that curveball from Gio Gonzalez in Colorado. You remember Gio was making it up as he went along in Colorado. He said in his bullpen before the game, his curveball was doing nothing. So he's dropping down, different arm angles, different speeds against the Rockies in Denver. And that was a good one right there for strike 3 to a really hot hitter, a really good hitter.
So like Scudero in the American League, Cuddyer has seen a lot of Gio. Great success against him. So he can be smart about how aggressive he is in the strike zone here. Although there is a red-hot left-handed batter on deck. Tyler Colvin's been unbelievable, but Cuddyer's 5 for 12 with a homer, 3 RBIs against Gonzalez.
And 2-0, Gonzalez probably not going to give in. Even though Colvin's hot, you get that left-on-left matchup. And that puts your curveball into play, and that might be Gio's best pitch. Although I'm looking at the numbers right here, Carp, Colvin's 15 for 46, 326 against lefties.
He's hitting everybody now.
Yeah.
3-0. And Kadire had the green light. He was ripping on a 3-ball count. I think that's a great call by Jim Tracy early in the game. You just won last night. Rockies are 19 games under 500. They can let some things rip that sometimes teams in a different situation won't.
Well, sometimes you take a 3-0 fastball to get to a 3-1 changeup with first base open and 2 outs. So it's a good move.
Challenge fastball at 94. And the count's full now, 3-2.
You see that swing right there from Kadire? That's a swing to where your brain is telling you 3-1. I'm sitting fastball, but because first base is open, because there's a lefty on deck, you get just enough off speed, thinking maybe change up, maybe curveball in the back of your head to be late on the 3-1 fastball.
He goes breaking ball. It gets by Gio, but Espinosa's right there. And after the leadoff base hit, no problem for Gio Gonzalez. The Nats against Jeff Francis coming up. Some air moving around here. Nats come up bottom of the first, 9th in the league at hitting and 9th in runs, 5th in home runs. See your authorized Dodge dealer and experience a world of performance, design, and fuel efficiency. Schedule a test drive or go to Dodge.com and check out our powerful lineup, including Bryce Harper, 8 for 21 now. And he's hit safely in 9 of his last 10 games, just under 300. The Nats will be facing Jeff Francis, who was outstanding against them in Colorado last week. 5 innings, just a couple of runs on 5 hits. Walked 1, struck out a couple. And he's 3rd in Colorado history in starts and wins with that 57th career win as a Rocky. And he'll go low and miss to Danny Espinosa. Nats will be seeing a lot of off-speed stuff from this crafty left-hander. And on the day before the 4th, he had 5 real good innings at St. Louis as well. Diving play, Jordan Pacheco. He takes a hit away from Danny Espinosa.
Let's set the defense for the Rockies today behind Jeff Francis. Gonzalez, Fowler, Colvin in the outfield. Herrera, Pacheco on the left side. Scudero, Kadire on the right side. And Willeen Rosario doing the catching.
And they got to keep Tyler Colvin's bat in the lineup wherever he plays, whether it's first base or right field. Lefty-lefty matchup now for Bryce Harper. Harper 0 for 3 against Francis in that game last week. Bryce back over 280 though, having hit safely in 9 of his last 10 games at a 298 clip. Target is away. Pretty close. For a moment, I thought Mike DeMuro was going to body English up and call that a strike.
That's safely in 9 of his last 10 games. 14 for 47, 298 average.
Rockies play him straight away. And a 1-2. A lot of fans got down on the field today on a very hot day. Got to see Bryce and Strasburg and all the other Nats up close and personal. 2-2. Seemed like the most anticipation was for those two guys. That's always cool, though, when the fans can just meet some of the guys face to face. Smaller crowd today because of the heat, but they all had a wonderful time. And a 3-2 is going to punch him out. That was a breaking ball. Bryce Harper had already vacated the batter's box. 2 down.
A big slow 3-2 curveball, 72 miles an hour from Francis. And it looks like he got the plate. Bryce Harper looking fastball, curveball away. He didn't like the call. Pitch track had it a strike, and it looked like a pretty good pitch.
Ryan Zimmerman, career against Jeff Francis, and I had to double check this. He is indeed 9 for 18 with a homer and 4 RBIs.
Well, we talked about it in Colorado. I think the game plan facing Jeff Francis is let the ball get deep. You're in no hurry as a hitter. He wants you to rush. He wants you to try to get out in front and pull the baseball. You fall right into the trap if you do that. Remember, Jesus Flores had some good at-bats in Colorado against Francis. What did he do? He let the ball get deep and hit it hard the other way.
Zimmerman was 1 for 2 against Francis with an opposite field double. First time they met this year. That was that ball in Colorado that hit right off the first base bag. And he was pumping on 2-0. And that's well inside with another hot power guy on deck. Michael Moore is still hitting .409 over his last 10 games. Zimmerman 17 RBIs over his last 12, including a 1 for 4 with a home run last night. Good eye. Nats have their first base runner with 2 down. Francis did not throw him a 3-1 fastball.
Well, Michael Morris last time in Colorado, first at bat, led off the second inning with a single off Francis. So there you go, a little 2-out rally. Zimmerman gets on base, keeps the line moving for the Beast.
Michael Morris had a base hit, pulled the ball twice against Francis in Colorado. And career, he's 3 for 5 against him. First pitch off speed, outside at 77.
When you face a guy like this, you try to find a pattern. Does he double up on his changeup? Does he double up on his curveball? Does he go fastball in off the changeup away? And if you can see a pattern on the bench, you can see a pattern on video, well, that's to your advantage. Does he follow up that changeup with a fastball in? And that's what he usually does. There's a fastball in off the changeup away. A guy like Jeff Francis has to keep you off balance. He can't repeat the same pitch 2 or 3 times in a row, because if he does, Bo McLaughlin going to go out there and talk to him. I mean, if he does that, then he's going to get hit. He makes a living throttling the hitter backwards and forwards, inside and outside, so he changes speeds, moves the ball around. And that's how an 85-mile-an-hour fastball plays at the highest level, by keeping you guessing as a hitter. But sometimes those guys will fall into patterns.
And a visit by the pitching coach with just a walk and 2 outs in the very first inning. You think they saw something from the dugout about his mechanics? Why else would they go out at that point?
Yeah, that's a strange trip.
And then he misses 3-0.
And this should be a green light situation for a guy. In his last 10 games, he's hitting .409 with 2 doubles and 3 homers.
Short lead by Zimmerman. 3-0 pitch. Morse will take 84.
And see, the reason you like the green light, Carp, against a guy like Francis is you're not guaranteed a fastball in a 3-1 count. You are guaranteed it. I would say guaranteed, but 99% chance you're going to get one a 3-0 count. But you might take a 3-0 fastball to get to a 3-1 change.
And as I mentioned, Zimmerman very short lead. Just felt like throwing over. A lot of hitting room right side as Kadire holds Ryan. And Morse didn't like the off-speed nature of that. 78, the breaking ball, and now the count's full, and Ryan Zimmerman will be on the move.
Well, that was the 3-0 fastball to get to the 3-1 change. And now as a hitter, you're thinking, okay, what's he going to throw 3-2?
Zimmerman on the move and a chopper to third, gloved by Pacheco. And that throw way off the bag, but fortunately for Kadire, it was right into the runner. So the Nats get a walk in. Each pitcher strands one in the first. No score. And the second inning presented by Luna. Call for the Luna double. Get your second room of flooring free at 877-241-LUNA. There's a guy with a camera right in the middle of your shot there. Today was camera day here at the ballpark, and starting at about 1:30, Nationals players, broadcasters, coaches, and Davey Johnson, who probably spent more time on the field. Johnny Holiday. Davey Johnson was out there forever greeting folks. He was the last guy, and the Nats were handing out popsicles. How cool is that?
And how about the gamer fans that stood out in 103-degree heat to meet their favorite players? You talk about a great experience just to be on a major league field alone, to stand on big league soil, and then to have your favorite players walking around. Pretty cool deal.
Nice. I bet you there's some popsicle wrappers stashed away in some pockets that aren't going to be thrown away. Gio Gonzalez faces Tyler Colvin and goes 2-0, second inning underway. Tyler Colvin, 6-game hitting streak, 8 for 23. And he's hammered the Nats to the tune of 3 homers and 10 hits. That's ball 3. 26-year-old outfielder from Georgia, Augusta way, who played at Clemson for 3 years.
Be careful right here. He might be swinging.
He'll take the 4-pitch walk. Rockies have their second leadoff man aboard. Buy game-used, autographed, and team-issued Nats memorabilia. It's available at every home game around Section 112, 113. For more information, email memorabilia@nationals.com. There's a strike on the inside corner to Jordan Pacheco, the third baseman. Homegrown Rocky, 9th rounder in 07 out of the University of New Mexico. I met some fans on the field from New Mexico today. They swore they were rooting for the Nats, so we'll have to hold them to that as one of their native sons bats here. A former Mountain West Player of the Year.
A good-looking young player. We like the way he plays the game all around. Probably playing out of position at third base. A utility guy, more of a middle infielder, but plays hard. Pretty good hitter.
In the Rockies guide, they list him as an infielder and catcher.
Well, you go emergency catcher, you're going to make a lot of ball clubs. Whether you can really do it or just sort of kind of do it, as long as they know you're willing, as long as they know you're willing to do it, that's half the battle.
Anything to be in the big leagues, right?
Yep.
2-1. Crowd doing a good job of conserving their energy so far. It's a quiet ballpark. You're just not going to hear the energy on a day like this until something big happens on the field.
Well, you don't want to overheat early.
No. That ball hit hard, but slicing. And the count goes to 2-2. Cubs and the Mets underway. Dylan G going for New York today. They are scoreless, top of the second. And the Marlins just got 2 in the second against St. Louis, and Kyle Loesch on Justin Ruggiano's 8th homer of the year.
Ruggiano is raking for the Marlins.
Phillies lost again last night. They are 13 back of the Nats. Marlins have won 3 straight, and the Braves and the Mets just a half game apart.
We talked about Ryan Howard's comeback last night, that multi-hit game. Did you see him run to second? He's still limping.
Runner goes, swinging a foul.
And they showed some of his rehabs in AAA, Lehigh Valley. They showed him run to second base yesterday, and he is back well before he's 100% because he did not look good running around, but they need him so bad. They're so far behind that maybe pressing the envelope a little bit. He's supposed to have 1 game on, 2 days off. They're doing similar stuff with Chase Utley.
3-2. Runner goes again, and well, maybe the Nats can wear out Tyler Colvin running on 3-2 pitches that keep getting fouled off.
And that was pitch number 30 already for Gio Gonzalez.
Yeah, with nobody out in the second. 19 pitches, 12 strikes in the first inning. And I know he wanted to attack the Braves on Sunday, but it took him 114 pitches to go 3 batters into the 6th inning. When he gave up a couple of hits and a home run, that's when he came out. That ball hit to right field. Michael Morse smelling something at first base. Gets it in quickly, but the runner, Colvin, ID'd the play. That's a pretty strong throw by Michael Morse. Good to see.
Jim Tracy forcing the issue today, starting Colvin a couple of times. But how about the bat from Pacheco? Pretty scrappy at bat right there. Gets the barrel on the baseball, hits it hard to Morse in right field. You see Colvin recognizing the fact that he's going to catch it, hustle him back to first base. So a lot of exercise early for Tyler Colvin, who got to jog around the bases a few times last night. Today he's sprinting.
See, that's a ball in Colorado that pins a right fielder back near the track. Pretty well hit. That's a breaking ball inside to Willeen Rosario, the young catcher. He was the backup coming out of spring training over Will Nieves. But then Ramon Hernandez got hurt, and they both got promoted. Willeen up to the #1 catcher, then Will Nieves, who started the season in the minor leagues, got called up.
And how about his rookie ranks? As you look at Rosario and how he hits on the road, which is usually the opposite for a Rockies hitter, but his rookie ranks, he's first in home runs with 14, first in RBI with 36, fifth in runs 29. Making a case for Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, young catchers who hit for power at this age. Gio's got him late for a 2-0. Rosario from Banao of the Dominican Republic signed with Colorado at the age of 16, and he's only 23 years of age. 5'11", 215. He is a compact, very strong young man, and I love his caught stealing numbers too. 32% so far on a staff that doesn't give its catchers a whole lot of help. Pretty good breaking ball by Gio, had him lunging.
Somebody in center field that might have a say about Rookie of the Year, I'm calling by the time this is all said and done.
Sure.
Yeah, that guy.
That should be a called strike. Rosario briskly walks away. He knew he'd been had on the outside corner with that side door breaking ball. Nissan will track it.
Yeah, if you remember in Colorado, Rosario had no trouble with the heaters, but a lot of trouble with sliders away and off-speed pitches. Gio Gonzalez on a 2-2 count goes to the big curveball, and it was a beauty.
And of course the curveball is a lot bigger here. It's Nissan's 4th of July sales event. Celebrate, save today. Hurry up because it ends on July 9th. And there were some Nats headed to the dugout thinking Gio had picked off Tyler Colvin.
Well, that was the A+ move from Gio Gonzalez. Caught Colvin sleeping, and I wonder if this was a balk. Watch where he steps. I mean, that was almost a home plate. I've never seen Gio with that move yet this year. That must be the double secret A+ move.
And there's a double-A 2-star move by Adam LaRoche. That ball labeled for the right field corner, and that makes the pitcher lead off next inning. Hanging around the bag right there to make a very good reaction play. Fight this afternoon. He wants Adam LaRoche and Desmond and Tyler Moore to get something going here. Bottom of the second. PNC Bank, for the achiever in you, solutions that help you achieve your financial goals. Kristen Meza, left-hander at Hagerstown, 4-1, 60 strikeouts, 23 walks. Look at that, 1.38 over his last 10 games. A 25th round pick back in 2010.
Call him up. He's ready. He can start either Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday of next week.
Orange County boy from Southern California out of Santa Ana Junior College. His third professional season. Jeff Francis, his first inning, 19 pitches, 8 strikes. He struck out Harper, walked Zimmerman, prolonging his inning. And quickly now, he has Adam LaRoche 0-2. Adam 2 for 10 career with an RBI against him.
You would think against a guy that throws 84 miles an hour that the shift would be on for LaRoche, but the Rockies playing him straight up.
Evidently that bunt sent shockwaves around baseball the other night.
I mean, usually LaRoche a pull hitter, but I think when you're talking about lefties hitting another lefty that throws slow, the game plan is let it get deep, go the other way. Jim Tracy aware of that, keeping Pacheco close to home at third base.
Big slow breaking ball. Adam tried to wait for it way early. Fights it off. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Francis' career 63 and 67, 187th start, and his 7th against Washington over the years. He's 1-1 with a 4.72, so he's had 4 no decisions against the Nats. Inside the numbers with Kia. Discover their full lineup of high quality, stylish, and dependable vehicles. To learn more, visit kia.com. Right now, they're only winning when this man starts.
What, 32 and 51, getting 25 decisions from your starting pitchers. That'll tell you they have a 4-man rotation and a pitch limit.
Well, that's a good sign, Adam. 368 over 6 games. Still driving in runs, 53 of them. He's going to take that fastball right down the middle.
Yeah, an 87-mile-an-hour fastball, so that's the frisky one from Francis on the black. It looks like it caught the front outside corner of the plate. Perfect pitch, pitcher strike.
That'll bring in Ian Desmond. First pitch breaking ball. And a big rip. Desmond just 1 click under 280. Wouldn't you love to see him go into the break hitting 280 or better?
Yeah, he can do it. Couple of games left.
That ball is driven to the scoreboard and out of here. The Nats lead 1-0 on Ian Desmond's 16th of the year. RBI number 49.
And that's how you hit Jeff Francis. Let the ball get deep. Think about going the other way. And that's been the jet stream. How many balls have we seen hit to right center field in this homestand? So you're thinking, getting that gap. That looks like a double. It stays in the air forever, and it's a home run. Saw 3 the other day against the Giants and Madison Bumgarner.
I'm going to go out there with a tape measure. It looks like that scoreboard's only like 6 feet high anymore. The way these guys are peppering that thing.
Yeah, see how he lets it get deep? I mean, you can't let it get any deeper than that. That was almost in the middle of home plate. Pretty good snag by the youngster out there for a souvenir. Yeah, I got Ian Desmond's 16th home run before the All-Star break.
Tyler Moore will bounce one to the left side for Pacheco. That's out number 2.
Isn't the record 17? Orlando Cabrera, was it 17 or 19?
I think it was 17 for a whole season.
Yeah.
So Ian Desmond, I mean, this guy, he's going to be flirting with 20 before we know it. And, you know, you don't want to put big expectations out there, but the numbers don't lie. And last year he was a second half guy, too. So you're looking at a shortstop with a chance to easily hit 25 or more and maybe 30 or more. Amazing. Not to mention the RBIs, 49. Jesus Flores would love to reach for Gio Gonzalez here.
And the guy that's just been a horse all season long for Davey Johnson was talking to Davey yesterday about the All-Star break. I said, hey, Skipper, you worried about losing momentum during the 4-day All-Star break? And he said, you know what, FP, I've been riding my infield. And they've been playing every day, and they could use the rest. And they are not going to lose it in 4 days. Talking about Zimmerman, talking about all those guys. Danny Espinosa, Adam LaRoche, and especially Ian Desmond, guys that could use 4 days to get away from baseball. Obviously, Desmond going to the All-Star game. And you see what happened to Furcal last night? He came off the field. He tweaked something for the Cardinals. There might be a good chance that Ian's starting that game.
How cool would that be? 0-2 to Flores. Yesterday at his press gathering before the game, I asked Davey, can you recall ever managing an infield that had so much power at all 4 spots? And he said, I really can't. And he's managed some really good ball clubs, but he couldn't recall anyone where all 4 guys were capable of, I'm not talking about 5 home runs a year, but double digits, 15 to 20. Easy. Good off-speed pitch by Francis. Touched for a homer. Ian Desmond's 42nd extra base hit of the season. Home run number 16. The Nats greet him and have a 1-0 lead. His 16th of the year and his 38th career home run. So 22 home runs total coming into this season. Get a new era ball cap just like the one he's wearing. If you ignite your Netitude with a midseason flex plan, pick 3 games, get a new ball cap. Go to nationals.com/flex. 1 cap per plan, minimum 2 plans. Some restrictions apply. The Nats got Francis up to 35 pitches.
Lee Kuntz out giving Mike DeMuro a little bit of water between innings.
Yeah, he'll be helping him out. Usually the home trainer is the one who will help out the umpires.
As long as the calls keep going the Nats' way, you get water. If not, guess what? You're on your own, pal.
And sometimes you will see the umpire head over to one of the dugouts and maybe stand in that. There's a little jet stream of cool air that comes down the tunnel from the Nats clubhouse. Sometimes you'll see an umpire go over there, soak up some of that cold air for a minute or two.
And pick the most friendly dugout, the one you're hearing the least amount of chatter from. Let's see, they've been getting on me in the home dugout. I'm going to go to the visitors dugout.
Here's Gio against Jeff Francis, and that's blown away. Francis as a hitter, 0 for 7 this year, a 122 career batter with 15 RBIs. On the corner, 2-1. Top of the order, the hard to get out suddenly. Dexter Fowler is next. And then Marco Scutaro. Looked like a perfect pitch, but it's 3-1. Pretty well hit. Desmond right there. We can hear the ball smack into his glove up here. So Gio battles back to get an out. And he's now retired. 7 of the last 8 batters. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in the game, brought to you by Miller Lite. So maybe you want to frost up that mug right now.
Yeah, that'll last for about 2.6 seconds.
Top of the third, top of the order, Dexter Fowler, who suddenly has 3 hits in a row in this series. Man, he's been tough on the Nats. So Fowler with his base hit. Now at 291. Oh, that's a great pitch. Off speed, had him just reaching to bump it over to Danny Espinosa. Gio starting to pitch with a little momentum here. Worked his way through the bottom of the order, and now it's Marco Scutaro, 2 outs, bases empty. Scutaro's the kind of guy that can frustrate you in a situation like this. He can foul off a bunch of pitches. This will be a fun little at bat to keep an eye on to see if Gio can keep Carlos Gonzalez from batting in this inning and keep Marco Scutaro maybe to 3 to 5 pitches here.
Gio Gonzalez got that ball back. It was off the end of the bat from Fowler. And it must have had a divot in it because he threw it out. Let's think about something, Carp, the other day. You don't see pitchers get a new baseball, throw it back to the catcher for another ball from the umpire like you used to back in the day.
Yeah, they throw it right into the dugout?
No, if you ask for a new ball, say the ball hits the dirt, the umpire throws it out, and the pitchers just use it. Yeah, you remember maybe 10 years ago when a pitcher would look at the baseball and say, no, I don't like this one, throw it back, and they would do the exchange 2 or 3 times?
Yeah.
Till he got the right ball? Well, as a hitter, when you used to see that, you would think the pitcher's looking for a ball with raised seams because he wants to throw a curveball to actually tip off what a guy might want to throw next.
Interesting.
And now guys just go with whatever ball's thrown. So watch, Flores throw this ball to Gio. Gio take it, won't even look at it, and use it. Before you'd see pitchers look at the baseball, examine it, and maybe throw it back and get another one to where it felt good in their hands. Maybe it just says how the baseballs are made nowadays, but you very rarely see that back and forth.
Scutaro works it to 3-2. I read a story about that once. You know, pitchers were asked, why do you throw a ball out? Well, they say, well, sometimes it feels too big, or it just doesn't feel right in your hands.
But you don't see that very often nowadays. You don't.
But the balls are machine wound now. They used to be hand wound, and I think there were a lot more imperfections back then. When they were wound by hand, you know, the machines are able to kind of do the same thing over and over again, and the balls are more uniform than they used to be.
Yeah, every once in a while you grab that baseball, it felt like a golf ball. It was a size smaller, and that's what the pitchers were looking for. The seams would be raised, and it made their off speed more effective because the seams were higher, more friction in the air.
3-2 pitch. There's Scutaro doing what I talked about. He fouls off a pitch, and then he goes about 6 or 7 pitches and gets aboard with 2 outs. Those kind of guys on a day like this will drive you crazy. Next up will be Carlos Gonzalez. Now, a couple of weeks ago, we're in Baltimore, and I was in a meeting with Buck Showalter before one of the games there. He swears that there are baseballs being manufactured in Japan now that don't need to be rubbed up with the Delaware River mud that they rub these baseballs up with. They have kind of a, not tacky, but a different kind of substance or surface to them. And he was wondering why they haven't brought that technology over here yet. Because, you know, umpires used to rub up baseballs, but now it's clubhouse guys. And you know that maybe from ballpark to ballpark, the balls can be different.
And there'd be a lot of clubhouse kids that would be in favor of that after rubbing up baseballs all day with that mud on it.
Not easy work.
I mean, you talk about all the balls being the same, already rubbed up. Pretty soon they'll just throw themselves.
But I think he had been, you know, talked to his left-hander Chen, who came over here and told him about some of the baseballs they're using on the other side of the world right now that are different than the ones being manufactured for the major leagues. Carlos Gonzalez on a 1-1. Front door breaking ball hangs up and in. And I think Gio was glad it was up and in as far as it was. Thing was just kind of rolling up there. That is a great pitch, low and away. Had the left-hander pulling off.
Yeah, Gonzalez looking for a fastball in to drive in a 2-1 count. Watch the swing. Leaves early, looking to pull. Pitch away, tried to hold up, couldn't. Yeah, that's a pull swing, looking for a fastball middle in all the way.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Breaking ball for the strikeout. That's a big curve. You don't see those in Denver, but you can see them in the District of Columbia. Bryce Harper will bat third, bottom of the third, straight ahead. Visit AFCEA.org, the Association for IT Pros. Christina, you staying cool down there?
I'm trying to. I got a big fan keeping me dry down here, Bob. But earlier today, I talked to pitching coach Steve McCaddy about what's impressed him the most about Gio Gonzalez so far this season. He said, before each game, we go over hitters and their tendencies with the starting pitchers. But Gio does not like the distraction to think about. He has a pretty good idea of what he's going to do, and he sticks to it when he's out there. At first, McCaddy said, happy-go-lucky left-hander. Let's see what he's got. Put him out there and see what he goes with. But he said he's been really impressed with how Gio knows what he wants to do, and he sticks to it. He says Gio is a ball of energy to begin with, and his stuff is electric.
Going up hacking right here in this AB. He's 3 for 28 with a couple of RBIs this year.
I want to know the name of the fan that's keeping Christina cool down there.
I don't know, but he's kind of an electric guy, I think. Ball slapped to the right side. Marco Scutero. All right, go find some shade. Gio Gonzalez. First time through the order. The Nats get 1 walk to Zimmerman and a home run by Ian Desmond.
That might have rattled Gio's hands a little bit. And the last thing you want to do is get those bumblebees on your pitching hand.
I'd say there are more people sitting on the third base side than the first base side today. That's the shady side here in the afternoon. Danny Espinosa thrown out on a good play by the third baseman Pacheco, first time up. Jeff Francis drops in a breaking ball. Danny at 317 from the right side coming in. He's seen a whole bunch of left-handers lately.
We talk about being a switch hitter and him doing so well from the right side and the left-handed swing improving. When you get hot from one side as a switch hitter and you see your average going up and you're getting at-bats on that side of the plate predominantly, it'll help you relax when maybe you go to your weaker side just because your average is going up. You're getting hits, and as a ball player, we always talk about when you're relaxed, you're able to do what you're capable of doing. The athletic ability comes through. So with Espinoza, all these right-handed at-bats against all the left-handed pitchers, probably helping his left-handed swing just from a relaxation standpoint.
And a 1-2 delivery jams him. 5 o'clock under clear, blazing skies in Washington, D.C. 1:04 at game time today. The Nats lead on an Ian Desmond one-out opposite field homer, his 16th in the second inning. Espinoza on a big slow curveball strikes out. Rosario kind of blocked it right out in front of home plate and throws him out. Jeff Francis, not a big strikeout guy, has 4 today. He had 14 strikeouts in 30 innings coming in.
The last time against the Nationals, he did a nice job in Colorado. And he struck out 5 that night. Struck out 5, walked nobody, got the no decision, 5 innings, 2 hits. That was his season high, Carp.
First man he struck out today was Bryce Harper, looking on a big 3-2 curveball, similar to the one he just swung on and missed. Jammed on that one.
He is way up in the box right now off Francis, in the front of the batter's box. I mean, his right foot, his lead foot, is almost on the front line.
So not that concerned about the fastball, huh?
Well, he's making adjustments. You stand back in the box off guys that throw hard. Guys that throw soft, you get up in the box. His toe hold's usually where that dark spot is, behind him right there, but now he's up in front.
But a lot of hitters will never do this. I think it's great that Bryce makes adjustments at bat to at bat, pitch to pitch here in his rookie season.
That's great if it works.
Yeah. But there's some guys who will never change where they are for any reason against any pitcher. 2-2 now.
You might be wondering at home right now, well, what's the benefit of moving up in the box? When the guy throws slow, usually his stuff is at its best right in the strike zone. And maybe you get up there and get it before it does its thing, meaning catch it before he catches you. Get that curveball out in front, get that fastball before it dives.
That's close, 3-2.
And the reason you get back in the box as a hitter, you're trying to give yourself a little more time to see the baseball, to react to it. But when a guy throws 84, there's no need to be in the back corner of the box, and that pitch just missed on the outside.
Bringing the heat and the flavor, the Cholula hot sauce pitch track. Harper will hit it sharply right at Marco Scutero, and the Nats go in order in the third inning. First time a pitcher has had a 1-2-3 today. 1-0 Washington. Every night in Nationals Park, it's our International Troop Recognition, today brought to you by DynCorp. At DynCorp International, we serve today for a better tomorrow. FP and I had the honor of meeting a couple of injured, wounded warriors who had come home from Afghanistan. Leg injuries, spirits just unbelievable. And both of us thank them profusely for their service to our country. And one of them sitting there in a wheelchair outside the visiting dugout said, "Boy, this heat feels good." And I'm like, hey, if he's having a good day, how can any of us have a bad day?
Absolutely.
Those guys inspire us like we just cannot believe. That's one of the young men we talked to as well, and he's going to be fitted for his new leg. He said, "I'm getting a new leg on Monday." Like, wow. Unbelievable guys. They are the Warriors on this hot day. Top of the fourth inning, Gio Gonzalez to Michael Kadire. 2 balls, 2 strikes. I mean, FP, when you talk to these kids, it's almost overwhelming.
Well, it's just sobering. It puts it all into perspective. If you have a bad day, really, you can't be that bad. These guys are over there defending our freedom, laying their lives on the line every day, and then you meet them. A ground troop in Afghanistan, May 26th. That happened to him. So what's that, a month and a half ago, and here he is at a Major League Baseball game in a wheelchair with great spirits, making our day better.
Zimmerman couldn't get to it. That ball will roll to the short wall and be a leadoff double for Michael Kadire, who's now 6 for 14 career against Gio Gonzalez. I think if Ryan dives for that ball, there's no way he could get up and throw Kadire out. Kadire runs well, so Ryan went with the glove play on his feet, trying to see if he could make it.
Well, you have to be in stride to be able to dive, and when a ball's hit hard, maybe your feet are not underneath you so that you can dive. And the only play he had right there was the glove play, maybe do the jump throw in foul territory. But a leadoff double here for the Rockies in the 4th.
They've had their leadoff man 3 out of 4 innings aboard. So Gio's had to pitch off the stretch quite a bit today. He's pitched off the stretch to 7 hitters and now 8, with Tyler Colvin coming in. 80 perfectly placed to the outside corner. AT&T fact of the game.
Tyler Colvin's good.
10 homers in the last 21 games since the first week of June. Only 2 guys in baseball with more. One of them, of course, that slugger up in Toronto, Mr. Batista, who's unbelievable year after year these days with the home runs. LaRoche to Gonzalez, 3-1. And Michael Kadire's the tying run at third base with 1 out here in the 4th.
A good AB right there for the ball club by Tyler Colvin. Leadoff double. Gets a high five from Glenn Allen Hill on the way back to the dugout, but he'll get more when he gets there. That's playing the game the right way.
Infield in. 4th inning. That ball will be driven to right. Not too deep. Michael Morse. Kadire can run. The throw is on target, but late. And the game is tied on Pacheco's 17th RBI.
And that ball hit the grass and just kind of checked up. Good throw by Michael Morse. He got behind it nice, got rid of it quick. Got it to Jesus Flores, but watch the bounce on the grass. Pacheco gets a fastball up and away. That's what you're looking for in that situation. That was pretty close with Kadire leaving earlier or not, but you see the ball bounce on the grass. It just checked up enough to allow Kadire to go head first. That's a great shot around Flores, hand on the plate. Great slide.
So the Rockies a double, a grounder, a sac fly. They play small ball to tie it up. Willeen Rosario, their catcher now, with 2 outs.
good fundamental baseball by the Rockies this inning. Double, get him over, get him in.
Breaking ball. Zimmerman to his left. Dives for this one. Bounces up and throws him out on a brilliant inning-ending play. Zimmerman to his left. Gio loves it. And when you get on the ground and play a game, make a play like this, will allow you to lead off the following half inning. On a hot day. And they've got the warm weather shirts on as well. Unbelievable.
They got their Joe Delpo Hawaii shirts on, running around on the warning track right now.
Teddy ends up going over the rail. I'm just trying to figure out how a bunch of guys in red shirts could entice a president away from winning his first ever race. Come on. And there were scattered boos throughout the ballpark, I might add. Jeff Francis, 48 pitches, 29 strikes. Bottom of the fourth coming up at sizzling Nats Park.
And Jeff Francis doing a nice job so far. 48 pitches. Pretty even on the distribution between fastball and off speed. Like I said, trying to keep the Nats off balance. Using the soft to set up the hard. Moving the ball in and out.
Yeah, nothing in the air yet except a Desmond home run. That was a big fly. Fastball in there to Ryan Zimmerman at 86. Here in the bottom of the fourth, the shadows from the light standard starting to creep from the left field grandstand. Zimmerman lanes it hard. Look at Marco Scutaro. Outstanding play to his right, one out.
To make a play like that as a second baseman on a ball hit that hard, you have to be 100% anticipating that the ball is going to be hit to you, and that's what good major league infielders do. Every single pitch, they're on their toes. They're saying, this one's coming to me. And Scutaro with a step and a half and a dive just lays out, got a high hop. That helped the process. And once the ball's hit that hard, you have tons of time to make the throw to first base. Great play, Marco Scutaro. That's one of those, you're going to rob my guy, guess what? I'm going to rob you. The guy that liked that play the most, Willeen Rosario, who just got robbed by Ryan Zimmerman to end the fourth.
1-0 to Michael Morse. Coming off that huge series at Coors Field last night, Michael had that double after the Zimmerman homer in the bottom of the ninth. He went 1 for 4. Target away. That ball under the glove of Jonathan Herrera. The Nats have their second base hit. Next to Rockies pitching, that's only their 7th hit in this series. And next up will be Adam LaRoche.
Somewhere in the Nats dugout, Ryan Zimmerman is going, why couldn't that have happened to me? Herrera laying out right there. And watch how close this one is to being caught. Little two-hopper up the middle. He lays out for it just underneath the glove, smacking the ground in frustration. But see, I think the difference between that play and Scudero's is the same thing I talked about on Ryan Zimmerman's. You have to be on the right foot, timing-wise, to be able to lay out. And if you're not, you get caught in between. The ball gets under your glove.
Adam LaRoche struck out looking first time on a long count and then a fastball down the middle. That's low. Now the Mets are at it again. Ike Davis is hit his 12th. Jordany Valdespin has hit his 4th home run. And the Mets in the 5th inning lead the Cubs behind Dylan G 3-0. Marlins still have a 2-0 lead at St. Louis. Off-speed pitch, and Adam fouled it off his foot.
There's such a tendency as a hitter when a guy's throwing in the mid-80s, upper 70s, upper 60s, to want to hit the ball a mile. It looks like a beach ball when you're standing up there. It just doesn't get there. And the only way you have success against these guys is to try to not to do too much. It's easy to say up here, hard to do down there. Almost like if you've ever played slow pitch softball, they're just lobbing it in there and you try to swing too hard. I'm going to hit this one in the parking lot, and it's a trickler to third base. Same kind of theory.
Yeah, a lot of pop-ups to short happen that way.
Yep.
1 ball and 1 strike to Adam LaRoche. Target outer half. That's where the ball started. Then it broke even further away. Adam 2 for 11 career against Francis with an RBI. 10th in the league starting the day with 53 runs batted in. Slow breaking ball. Rockies trying to turn 2. Herrera stepped away from the runner and completed the 4-6-3. So this one into the 5th inning. It's a 1-1 game on a hot day. By Verizon Fios. Introducing Verizon Fios Quantum Speed, internet twice as fast as anything America has ever seen. And by Cholula Hot Sauce, the flavorful hot sauce with the iconic wooden cap. Most coveted item on the East Coast this weekend, a simple bottle of quality H2O. It's Agua time at the ballpark. Here's Gio Gonzalez, 69 pitches, 39 strikes. Jonathan Herrera, Jeff Francis, Dexter Fowler. Goes with a breaking ball, a little low. That'll be at the knees and a called strike. Inside the numbers, discover Kia's full lineup of high-quality, stylish, and dependable vehicles. To learn more, visit kia.com. So before the All-Star break, opponent batting averages, Pedro Martinez in 97, the all-time low.
He won the Cy Young Award that year.
That's a breaking ball on the inside corner. Jeff Francis bounced to short first time up. Dexter Fowler is up next. Christina, a very surprising announcement regarding a National and the All-Star game.
Yes, we've just gotten word, Bob, from the Nationals that Michael Bourne is to replace Ian Desmond on the National League All-Star roster. Ian has apparently been dealing with a left oblique strain. He's undergone treatment and rest has been recommended for him, so he will not be participating in the All-Star game.
Wow, that is disappointing, but the health of the player is the #1 priority.
#1 priority is winning the National League East. And if he's barking and that oblique's barking, that's a good move. And you know what's funny about that? I was talking to Davey Johnson around the cage yesterday about giving his infielders some rest, how much the All-Star break, they need the rest. And he said, you know, Desi not going to the game, he needs the break. And I thought he just was talking about somebody else, maybe like Bryce Harper, and he got his names mixed up. But he told me that around the cage yesterday, and I didn't think much of it.
Well, if this keeps going on, every guy that was on that final player ballot is going to end up going to Kansas City. Chipper Jones is going. And I suppose that if Bryce Harper had outpolled Michael Bourne in that voting, maybe he would have gotten chosen over Bourne, but he did finish behind him in that voting. So right now Tony La Russa is going down that ladder, and now you're starting to think that if something else happens, maybe Bryce Harper. A lot can happen between now and tomorrow night when people are getting on airplanes.
You know how prepared Tony La Russa is for an average game in May. Tony La Russa has one game to manage this year. He's going to put the best team out there to win the one game he's going to manage. And if he needs a pinch runner like Michael Bourne late in the game, or he needs power off the bench in the form of Bryce Harper, the guy's prepared for a Tuesday night game against Pittsburgh in May. Can you imagine how prepared he's going to be for the All-Star game?
That's a breaking ball, chopped straight down by Dexter Fowler, and the count stays 2-2. Well, Ian Desmond's still an all-star, whether he goes to Kansas City or not. That's the main thing. But the primary thing is have him healthy, feeling great, ready to go for the second half. That ball is bumped down the line. That'll be a couple of bases. Michael Morse will have to cut this thing off, and Fowler stops at second base. One more thing, FP, as we talk about this situation. Coming out of the break, the Nationals play a huge series starting Friday in Miami, where they were swept back in May. I mean, that's as big a series coming out of the All-Star break as this franchise has ever been involved in.
Yeah, it's far more important than risking an injury in the All-Star game. Ian Desmond not going to play, and I told you about Furcal leaving that game in St. Louis last night, thinking Ian might have a chance to start, but getting that news in the 5th inning, a game against Colorado, there it is.
And the press release we're looking at came from Major League Baseball with the All-Star Game, letterhead on it. So MLB releases it in the middle of a Washington Nationals game. 1 ball, no strikes. And a ball driven to right. Michael Morse over and grabbing it with a runner rounding third. Gio keeps this a 1-1 game. Desmond, by the way, leads off, bottom 5. Gonzalez, Gio 87 pitches in 5 innings. Francis 57 through 4. And the Nats a big blast from Ian Desmond, his 16th of the year.
Ian Desmond just all over the news right now. First he's playing in the All-Star game, then he's taking a break, and we're big fans of that decision. Arguably the most valuable player of the Nationals. Has to be healthy for the second half for them to make this run.
Danny Espinosa with the helmet removal, which has become a mandatory part of the greetings from the dugout.
What people don't know is when you have a really good game broadcasting, I come over and remove your headset right after the last out.
I've had some partners do that to shut me up. The Nats memorabilia available behind sections 112 and 113 at every home game this year. It's game used, autographed, and team issued, so it's authentic. For more, email memorabilia@nationals.com. Look at this guy. Look at Ian Desmond. 2 for 2 with a homer and a single today. And he had an 0 for last night. He just hasn't done that 2 games in a row in what seems like forever.
The guy that might be the most upset about Ian Desmond not playing in the All-Star game, Tony La Russa. We talk about a guy that's slowly becoming one of the better players in the National League. You see the swing right there, the adjustments. You hit a home run to right. What do you think you're going to get next time? Slow, and it'll probably be in.
Here's Tyler Moore. Pulled one first time up. Ground ball to the third baseman. Desmond a good lead. And maybe it's one of the reasons that Ian Desmond's been sitting on 8 or 9 stolen bases for a while. That oblique is a tough thing, FP. It affects just about every movement your body makes. And maybe they don't want him pounding himself into the second base bag on stolen bases. He could take off on the next pitch and surprise us.
Well, it's definitely not affecting his swing because he's swinging as hard as anybody I've seen all year.
That ball's got a chance to bloop into right. The Nats will take it. After the Rockies blooped them all over the yard last night. 2 on, nobody out for Jesus Flores. Tyler Moore 1 for 2.
As old saying in baseball, hit it like he throws it. A change-up away soft, off the end of the bat soft. That's exactly what Tyler Moore, who's see-ball, hit ball, did right there. Hit it like he throws it. That's a beautiful thing.
So Flores and Gio, the next 2 hitters. And I've noticed during his 2 so-called on-deck appearances, Gio Gonzalez has been hanging out down in that tunnel. As I mentioned, there's a couple of long stairways from the Nationals clubhouse down to the dugout. And if you stand in the right spot, the wonderful, cool air just comes blowing down upon you. So Gio is surely down there behind Randy Knorr and Davey Johnson right now.
Well, he's got to get out there to direct traffic. If Jesus Flores gets a base hit, you have to have an on-deck hitter in baseball, and you also have somebody at home plate telling the runner on second, Ian Desmond, whether to slide or not. And here comes Gio.
He'll emerge right now. Flores pulls it, and Bo Porter gets out of the way. Jesus Flores 0 for 12 on this homestand. Career, he's 3 of 8 against Jeff Francis.
And that 0 for 12 came after in 5 straight games where he went 9 for 21, a 429 clip.
Yep. Flores had 2 hits against Francis in Colorado. Single, double, scored 2 runs.
The other way.
Yeah, he singled the other way first time up. Doubled way out there off the left center field wall, nearly straight away second time up. Then he had another opposite field base hit later in that game. Slow roller. Rockies try to turn another double play. They'll do it with no problem. 6-4-3. Desmond, third base, 2 outs. Second consecutive inning with a twin killing.
Yeah, if you don't let the ball get deep, you try to get too far out in front off Francis, this is what will happen. Fastball down and in. Just beat Flores in the inner half. And when I think of all of the Nationals that could use the All-Star break the most, it's Jesus Flores. He's been a rock behind the plate. He's been getting beat up the whole first half. And when you look at him the last couple of days, he looks a little bit tired.
You and I both saw Wilson Ramos this morning leaving the clubhouse after his daily rehab.
That's so nice to see him.
I had a chance to chat with him for a minute. He says he feels great. Everything right now is about range of motion. But he's here every day, and he'll be here every day during the All-Star break, having that knee worked on to get ready for next year. But from what I saw and from the way he communicated with me, he's just got a great attitude about the whole thing and dealing with it and dealing with it well.
Yeah, great to see him. Had a huge smile on his face.
Gio taking all the way on 2-0.
Not as big as the smile that Gio will have if he gets a base hit right here. Ian Desmond creeping down that third baseline. Jeff Francis out of the stretch to keep Desmond close at third base.
Two. Gio hanging tough.
We talk about it all the time. Gio Gonzalez's at-bats get better with runners in scoring position. He'll go up there and swing for the fences with nobody on and 2 outs. He'll get the bunt down when he needs to. But when there's RBIs out there, that's when he starts fighting, fouling pitches off. And we've seen him come through in these situations a couple of times this year.
Big, slow curveball strikes him out. So the Nats get Jeff Francis to nearly 70 pitches through 5 in a 1-1 game. Dancing on a hot afternoon, 1-1 game. Nats about hit the Rockies 4-3. It's all about the pitching today. Here's the Cholula hot sauce pitching recap, bringing the heat and the flavor.
And bringing the curveballs too. Gio Gonzalez, one of the better curveballs he's had all year today. Nasty one right there to Cargo. The heat's been good too. Fastball, good location. It's been in the mid-90s. There's some paint to a hot hitter. So far so good for Gio.
'87 pitches, 51 strikes. Carlos Gonzalez, Michael Kadire, and Tyler Colvin, arguably their three best batters here in the sixth inning. Fowler, another two-hit day. Nats have had a hard time solving him lately. Kadire has a double, a run scored. If Gio wants to go 7, he'll need a pretty quick sixth inning against 3 tough hitters. And dragging a bunt going foul is Gonzalez on the first pitch. He is a combination of power and speed.
He's handled them well today. Struck out his first 2 times up. Some nasty curveballs. Fastball away. Curveball away. Hasn't really seen anything on the inner half.
Big breaker. And Gigo gets Cargo for the 3rd straight time. Strikeout number 6. And so far, Gio Gonzalez dealing with a tough day pretty well.
In the battle of the Gonzaleses today, Gio has struck out Cargo 3 times. Nasty stuff. Not an easy day for any left-handed hitter, but that's one of the best in baseball, and Gio's won the first 3 battles.
Yeah, it's a little different, 410 feet above sea level in Washington, D.C. than it is a mile high with that breaking ball here.
He's got a good one. And coming into today, Cargo hitting .306 against lefties, so he knows what he's doing. Doesn't matter if you're right-handed or left-handed, but Gio Gonzalez has been great.
There are parts of Washington no feet above sea level, varies from 0 to 409 feet depending on where you are. And right here next to the Anacostia, pretty low indeed. And Michael Kadire with Gonzalez working quickly, swinging a foul.
And trying to get his defense off the field, back in the dugout.
Went with the breaking ball, and he walks Kadire. That's the kind of respect you'll pay a guy when he's 6 for 14 career against you. And for Gio Gonzalez, his 3rd walk of the day. Ignite your attitude with a midseason flex plan. Pick 3 games. You get a free new era ball cap. You can check it out, nationals.com/flex. 1 cap per plan, a minimum 2 plans must be purchased. 1 on 1 out. Here's Tyler Colvin.
You're going to have to regroup after that curveball to Kadire. You heard the reaction. You saw the reaction. I don't think he was mad at the pitch selection. I think he was just mad at the pitch. That's a pretty good pitch. And it's funny, whenever it starts to go south for Gio or he gets upset, he looks to his shortstop, the captain, Ian Desmond, and they both have a little moment together. Ian said, I got you on a double play. Get right back in that strike zone. And there's times when they'll look at each other and take a deep breath. Ian will go first, then Gio will follow.
Zimmerman, another tough play. And look at that effort. Danny Espinosa hanging in at second base on a remarkable turn and throw by Ryan Zimmerman. The defense is amazing.
I mean, to get to that ball, Ryan Zimmerman did a nice job, but to do the blind throw to second base, Danny Espinosa hanging tough, that's a huge out in this ball game. Tie ball game, and you're thinking, okay, go ahead, run at second base, not so fast.
Danny had to just leave that right leg dangling over the bag, FP, to make sure he stayed on for the throw, and Kadire came wiping him out. That is outstanding on both ends, really. And the hitter is Jordan Pacheco now. He has line to right and hit a sac fly to Michael Morse, so Gio's had him going the other way twice. Hard hit. Espinosa on a short hop, and Gio Gonzalez gets that pretty quick. Sixth inning we were all hoping for. Top of the order straight ahead in a tie game. To you in part by W.B. Mason. Who but W.B. Mason? Sizzling at the ballpark today, and two pitchers really matching up beautifully. 1-3-0 Rockies, 1-4-0 Nats. Be there tomorrow. Jeremy Guthrie, former Oriole, 2-1 career against the Nationals with a 2.34 ERA. And a 135 first pitch from Jordan Zimmerman, who career against the Rockies, you're going to love this, 3-0 with a 1.96 ERA in 4 career starts. Johnny and Ray, Nats Extra here at the ballpark, 1 o'clock, a 135 first pitch, and then 4 days off for the guys before playing in Miami on Friday night. Breaking ball stays up and away to Danny Espinosa. 0 for 2, ground ball to third, swinging strikeout. And that was pitch number 69 from Jeff Francis, nearing his limit.
The top of the order, third time around, you'd think adjustments to be made by hitters. Davey Johnson, but like nothing better than to get Gio Gonzalez qualified for a win right here, because I think he's done. 6 innings, 104-degree heat here today. Did a great job just allowing that 1 run on 3 hits.
102 pitches, 12 fewer than he threw in just under 6 innings Sunday at Atlanta.
Yeah, that's when you hear guys in the dugout say, come on, let's get him a run right here. The guy gave us a great effort. Do what you can on offense to get him a lead.
Josh Renicky throwing, the piggyback guy behind Jeff Francis today. Espinosa just tantalized by that changeup. 2 balls, 2 strikes. There are pitches he throws that are about the same from the other side of the pitching rubber from our old friend Livan Hernandez. Espinosa drills this ball, heading over the head of the right fielder. One hops the scoreboard, And the Nats middle infielders are getting it done again. Desmond homers. Espinosa now oppo. He's 1 for 3 today.
20th double of the year for Espinosa. And right on cue, get that guy a run. He's pitching his heart out there. Danny Espinosa, leadoff double. Letting the ball travel, going the other way. Third time around, adjustment made, check. From Danny Espinosa. Now it's up to Bryce Harper to get him over to third base or get him in.
And Jordan Pacheco is going to play on the grass at third, because I think everybody knows Bryce Harper, if he laid down a bunt, could beat it out. Don't know if he'll be bunting, but he definitely wants to move that runner. He did pull it last time on a ground ball to Marco Scutaro. Struck out looking back in the first.
Well, the way Ryan Zimmerman hits Jeff Francis, just get Espinosa to third any way you can.
Breaking ball drops in, but it drops down. Ball 1.
The last time up, hit that bullet to Scutaro at second base, robbed of a hit. First time up, walked. Tons of success in the past against this lefty. Jim Tracy's got a right-hander up in his bullpen.
I didn't see anything funny about the catch, but the way the catcher and the shortstop ran to the mound, you'd almost suspect there was a cross up there.
Yeah.
Runner looking in from second base. Sequence of signs happening. Outfield straight away for Bryce Harper, who's on a 5-game hitting streak, and he's hit safely 9 of his last 10 ball games. Long look, and then time requested and given by Mike DeMuro. Pitch number 75 coming from Jeff Francis. And Harper will take a fastball that misses away. 2-0.
It's a good take by Bryce. You're trying to move a runner, roll your wrists over, hit a ground ball to second. If you get lucky and something's hanging out over, line it to right center. That's a good pitch by Francis. That's a tough pitch for a lefty to pull, especially from another lefty.
Off speed, big breaker. 2-1.
Yeah, 2-0, maybe thinking fastball right here. You got the slow curveball from Francis, 69.
Kinetic North America with a pitch track, providing world-class technology and responsive solutions to our government customers. Runner at second, nobody out. Lefty-lefty battle here. And Harper to left center. It'll drop. It'll check up. Espinosa watched that ball for a long time. Bryce Harper's in a rundown, but there's nobody at first base. So he was just waiting for the Rockies to make a mistake to advance. For a moment there, FP, I thought Danny Espinosa might have a chance to score, but he was watching the ball the whole way.
Well, Bo Porter was thinking about sending him, and Espinosa has to wait until this ball drops. So it's a good read from Danny Espinosa. You square your belt buckle up to the baseball as a runner. Until it drops, then you advance. But if Bryce Harper trusts his first instinct, he would have made it. There was a little hesitation once he got about 3/4 of the way to second base. Didn't want to make it out. He's telling Trent Jewett right now, I had it. If I'd have just kept going, I had it. But I think that might be a good thing, because if Bryce goes to second base, it takes the bat out of Ryan Zimmerman's hands. They can pitch around him with first base open. So the fact that he got back to first, now Jim Tracy and the Rockies have to pitch to Ryan Zimmerman.
This will be interesting as Ian Desmond's brother-in-law, Josh Renicky, comes into the game to replace Jeff Francis. He'll inherit a first and third, nobody out with Ryan Zimmerman coming up in the bottom of the 6th. This call to the bullpen is packaged by the UPS Store. We love logistics. The Nats, a big-time chance to break on top. Leadoff double, opposite field, Danny Espinosa. Base hit, opposite field, Bryce Harper. Rockies make a double switch. Chris Nelson will bat 9th and play third base. And the Colorado pitcher will be batting 6th. That'll be Josh Renicky, 29-year-old, 6'3", 200. Married to Nikki, Ian Desmond's kid sister. And Ryan Zimmerman leads off here. He's walked and been robbed of a hit by Marco Scutaro today. Rockies will play back. They'll take a double play and trade that for a run. Nats want a whole lot more than that. And Harper would be a running threat at first base. Renicky a step toward third and then looking at Harper. 15,000 umpires thought it was a balk.
He's a 4-pitch guy. Fastball, cutter, curveball, change. Doesn't throw the change very often. Fastball, two-seam fastball. Averaging 93 miles an hour.
Low to Ryan Zimmerman. Ryan's been on an RBI tear. Coming into this game, 17 batted in over his last 12 games. Jeff Francis, by the way, didn't walk anybody, struck out 5. Gave the Nats 6 hits in 5+ innings. Couple of double play balls were huge for him. And he's responsible for the 2 men on.
You got to fight if you're Ryan Zimmerman. Behind in the count, 1-2. Had a borderline pitch and a 1-0 count. Go Renicky's way. Pitcher strike. You got a hanger right there. Fouled it off. Now you got to fight.
Zimmerman, base hit left center. Bryce Harper heading for third. Zimmerman makes the turn and stops. The Nats lead 2-1, and the line is moving now. 3 consecutive hits. And for Ryan Zimmerman, RBI number 40.
You talk about battling and fighting with 2 strikes. Great adjustment by Zimmerman. Watch how short this swing is. Just trying to put the ball in play, so he takes a lot out of the swing. Maybe early in the count you're thinking, I'm going to do some serious damage and drive myself in, but in the two-strike count, he shortens up, goes right back up the middle, and look at Bryce Harper almost falling around second base.
You know, the only thing I can think of that he needs to work on is rounding second base.
I mean, he was almost taking a nosedive right around shortstop. You know why? He was thinking, because that ball's a little bit to Fowler's right, yeah, I'm going to score from first base.
Michael Morse goes up ripping, strike one.
Yeah, just got to love the way this team is clicking right now. Great piece hit with 2 strikes, and you got to love the way Bryce Harper plays the game.
He looks like a teenager on a trampoline every time he goes by second base. Well, now you still have a runner at third, less than 2 outs. In fact, nobody out here in the 6th. Harper, great speed, something to keep in mind. Want a fly ball to the outfield.
Same situation. There's a guy in front of him. 1-2 count.
Rockies cheat up the middle for a double play grounder. Morris will hang tough on a breaking ball. That thing was hanging a bit.
I like Michael Morse in 2-strike counts because he doesn't take a whole lot out of his swinging. You don't want a power guy to do that, but the nice thing he does is tries to stay inside the baseball and use the whole field. So he'll still let it fly with 2 strikes, trying to do some ultimate damage, but if you leave something out over the plate, he'll take it to right field and take a single.
And a 1-2. It hit the umpire. Great secondary lead by Zimmerman. Here comes Harper. That might go down as another steal of home.
If he broke before the ball got past Scudero, it will be a steal of home. Good read of the ball in the dirt by Ryan Zimmerman. And maybe Willing Rosario, a very aggressive rookie, made a rookie mistake. And we saw him scramble in Colorado on an Ian Desmond play where Ian read a ball in the dirt and throw him out. But with the runner on third base, that's a chance you rather not see him take. It was an aggressive mistake. You like to see your young players be aggressive, but right there, good read by Ryan, putting pressure on the defense, allowing Bryce Harper to score.
They're going to say he scored on a throwing error by the catcher because it got away. Bottom line is the Nats lead 3-1. They have another runner in scoring position. Wild pitch allowed Zimmerman to go to second, and then the E2 allowed Harper to score. Michael Morse, meanwhile, keeps this at bat alive.
These are hard at-bats for a hitter because for the majority of this at-bat, Michael Morse has the mindset of I'm getting something up in the zone and I'm driving it in the air to score the runner from third. And now you have Ryan Zimmerman on second base in a no-out situation to where maybe you're changing your game plan to hit the ball to the right side and advance the runner.
Morse will pull it, and nowhere Zimmerman can go with the ball right in front of him. Handled by Herrera for the first out.
Ryan Zimmerman talking to Marco Scudero saying, hey, quit robbing me and Knox, dude. Spoke that ball up the middle last time. You're going diving, taking hits away from me. And Scudero's probably telling him, well, you're doing the same to us. That's how those conversations go when somebody robs you of a hit and you get to go talk to him on second base.
Adam LaRoche is 0 for 2. That struck out, hit into a 4-6-3 double play. So the Nats have taken a 2-run lead. Both of those runs charged to Jeff Francis. Second one might still be unearned until the Nats get a hit, or maybe a long fly ball that would advance the runner. If Gio is done, Ryan Matthews for the top of the 7th.
So big to get Gio Gonzalez these 2 runs when he's coming out of the game, and he pitched so well this afternoon.
And how about sending our guy off to Kansas City with 12 wins? If the Nats can hold on and take care of business today.
A long way to go in this baseball game. You'd like to add on if you're Davey Johnson, Gio Gonzalez, and the Nationals.
LaRoche drives it foul. And the count 1 ball 2 strikes. Clutch all year long, Adam LaRoche, with runners in scoring position. Reinicke's breaking ball low and inside. Family on deck. And the last time the two met, it wasn't pretty for the pitcher. Ian Desmond homered off his brother-in-law in Colorado.
And didn't he triple the night before? Triple or doubled? I think the night before he had 3 doubles. Maybe it was a double.
And LaRoche will take that. 94 up and in. Count goes full and a very long inning for the Rocky staff. Their fielders, especially the guys on the right side. It's an eternity out there for them. Right now, the third baseman in the shade, shortstop a little bit of shade. But a long inning to be standing on defense. And LaRoche will make it a little longer, drawing his 39th walk of the year. And every time a Nat walks, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50 to the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Washington, D.C. $12,550 so far. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of you to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle.
Ian Desmond having a big day. 16th homer of the year, his first time up in the second. Loud single his last time up in the 5th. 2 for 2.
Desmond takes one low and inside. Big breaking ball, big swing.
I'm thinking about home run number 17 right here. And a 1-0 count.
Nats have now out hit Colorado 7-3. Fastball boring down and in at 93. Shadows beyond the pitching mound. What a great time of the day on a 4 o'clock start to take the lead with the hitting conditions for the rest of the afternoon.
That almost got Tyler Moore.
Yeah, he's about 15 feet from the on-deck circle toward the area right behind home plate.
Everything on the outer half is predominantly in this at-bat. Ian Desmond with 2 strikes. We've seen him do it all season long. Go the other way. Big early in the count. Big when he's ahead in the count. Short with the swing late in the count.
Desmond serves it right side. Sounded like a broken bat. No chance for a return throw. So over to third base is Zimmerman with 2 outs.
And Jonathan Herrera tried an arm fake right there. There's always an out there somewhere. Ryan Zimmerman did it to Carlos Gonzalez in Colorado. But when you do an arm fake, it works best if you have the ball in your hand. If you do it with the bare hand, you're not going to fake me out at all at third base because I know you're not going to throw the ball because it's not in your hand.
That reminds me of the time I saw the catcher with the ball in his bare hand and he tagged a runner at home with the glove.
Fish ain't biting on that one, Jonathan.
He's a thinking man shortstop, though. And here's Tyler Moore, who could salvage a huge inning here for the Nats. And Ian Desmond could be on the move, too. He shortened his lead at first from what it was. And Tyler Moore will take one up and away. Tyler today 1 for 2. Dumped a single into right center last time up after Desmond led off the 5th with a base hit. But one of those 2 double plays put an end to that threat. Desmond started, then stopped, and returns to the bag on ball 2. Well, by far the longest half inning of the day. And the home team enjoying, at least those guys in the dugout, a pretty good respite right here.
They could have hooked up to 3 IV bags each. Time of possession favoring the Nats all of a sudden.
34 rocky pitches in this inning. That ball gets away. It'll roll into the dugout, and a run will score. A gift, and it's 4-1.
That is a big time. Thank you very much. Not that bad a throw from Renicky, and I'm wondering if Kadire had trouble with the shadows. And it wasn't like that throw was that awful. But the Nats will take it. Huge, huge mistake.
They're going to call it E1 on the pitcher's throw. So the Rockies have made a couple of costly mistakes here. Another runner in scoring position. Tyler Moore was thinking long ball to left. Couldn't get it. 2 balls, 1 strike. Josh Renicky's thrown a wild pitch and committed an error here. And now he goes Powder River for a couple, and the count's back even 2-2.
And it just goes to show you how speed on the bases can influence an inning. Ian Desmond a stolen base threat. Renicky throwing over leads to a run.
Close. 3-2.
And we've seen that a lot, especially late in the second half of the season. Aggressive base running. Ryan Zimmerman reading the ball in the dirt. That allowed Bryce Harper to score. Ian Desmond a stolen base threat. Throw goes wide at first base. Another run scores. Double steals, taking advantage of balls in the dirt. Creating opportunity on the base pass. And besides hitting the cover off the baseball, the Nats have been doing a nice job of that.
Tyler Moore into the glove of Chris Nelson. Nats narrowly missing a 4-run inning. They'll take 3 and a 3-run lead into the late innings.
As we go to the top of the 7th, Ryan Matthews on out of the Nats bullpen. Time for the Home Depot Dewey Moore on defense. You know, the best place to be on a warm day besides the pool, in the dirt. Adam LaRoche diving. Ryan Zimmerman getting dirty just on the tip of his glove. And how about this one right here? A little jump throw and a bobble. Still gets it there to Danny Espinosa, who falls in the dirt. So everybody trying to stay cool like Adam Cool at first base. Lots of leather being thrown in the Nats infield today.
And more of the leather coming on a double switch with Roger Bernardina in left field batting 9th. And then batting 7th, the new pitcher, Ryan Matthews.
29th game of the year for Matthews. Check out the ERA, 1.88, 18 strikeouts versus 9 walks, 25 hits in 28 2/3 innings. Lefties faring a little bit better than righties. Righties just hitting 200 for a combined 245 average against. 3-pitch guy, 2-seam fastball, mid to upper 90s, 4-seam fastball, slider, and a split.
For the Rockies, top 7, bottom 3 in their order: Rosario, Herrera, and the third baseman Nelson. Rolene Rosario 0 for 2 against Gio Gonzalez today. Gio, a nice outing. A run on 3 hits in 6 innings. Walked 3, struck out 6 through 102 pitches. Half swing, that's a foul tip.
Well, that just goes to show you the movement on the fastball from Matthews. And Rosario thinking that might be a strike. He starts his swing and watch his 2-seam fastball just take off on the hands. And it's right there, and then the last second, just big time run all over the handle.
Goes with a big hook for the strikeout. That's as good a breaking ball as we've seen Ryan throw all year. Cholula on the pitch track.
And a good slider right there for the out pitch after the 2-seam fastball up and in. So set it up with the 2-seamer, go to the slider for the kill pitch. Pretty good sequence all the way around between Flores and Matthews.
Next up, Jonathan Herrera, the shortstop. Lined out to LaRoche and has been called out on strikes. Matthews just missing. They're in the 7th at New York. The Mets lead the Cubs 3-1. And in St. Louis, the Nats get a little help from the Cardinals, who got 3 in the 4th. They lead the Marlins 3-2, 7th inning. Tonight in Philadelphia at 7:15, Tommy Hanson for the Braves, 9-5. Joe Blanton, 7-7 for the Phils. Nice and easy looking 93 right there.
And tons of late sink.
And then foul tipped and held on by Flores. The batter thought the ball bounced, and Mike DeMuro says, oh, he's going to get help from the third base umpire. Jim Joyce points to the ground and says the ball did bounce.
Yeah, Tommy Runnels, Jim Tracy, and the Rockies dugout all screaming for help on that play. And I think that's the right call. Go to Jim Joyce at third base. If he saw the ball hit the dirt, which it did, some dust flying right there, get it right, good call.
Yeah, tough call for the home plate umpire. Blocked out by the catcher completely. So 2-2 again. And that'll take care of that. Herrera walking away. 2 down.
If you watch Mike DeMuro right here, it was a delayed call, but I think Jonathan Herrera let him know what he thought about the pitch. Watch Herrera. Yeah.
Call me out.
Good pitch by Matthews. Fastball down the zone. You see where it is, and then just the late sink. Good job, Jesus Flores, reaching out there and framing that pitch to get the call.
Chris Nelson is a Washington, D.C. native. He went to high school in Georgia at Redan High School, a great prep program in the Atlanta area that has sent a lot of baseball, football, and basketball players to Division I and professional careers. Former Georgia Player of the Year, the 9th overall player taken in the first round back in '04 by the Rockies. Made it to the big leagues for 63 games last year. 17 games a year before that.
With 63 games last year in Colorado, I guess you could call him a half Nelson.
'55th game this year. Ryan Matthews has been working ahead in this inning.
Yeah, just talking to Ryan about his last 3, 4, maybe 5 outings. He said the confidence is growing every time he takes the ball. It's the best he's felt in a long time.
This young man would be a back of the bullpen guy for a lot of big league ball clubs.
Hey, he's a horse. I mean, you'll take a guy that has a 91-mile-an-hour sinker with that much movement, let alone 95, 96. And the secondary pitches, the slider and split, have gotten better as the season has gone along.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss, and he's got a nasty breaking ball going today. Strikes out the side. The Nats take this one into the stretch, up by 3. .com today. Ryan Zimmerman, another good offensive day, a walk and an RBI single. He scored a run. Gio Gonzalez with a really great effort through 6 innings on a scorcher, and Ian Desmond comes up big again.
How about Ryan Zimmerman? Go back to the 6th inning. 2 strike. Base hit up the middle at a 1-2 count. Did a nice job of shortening up, going right back up the box, getting some love from Trent Jewett at first. Another big-time hit from a big-time player.
This day in history brought to you by Ocean City, Maryland. Go to OCOcean.com. Click on Summer of Thanks for special deals and discounts. Adam Dunn on July 7th of 2010, hitting 3 home runs, the only man in Nationals Park to do that. That was a 7-6 win over the Padres that night. 2 men on first inning, straightaway center field against John Garland. 2 innings later, leading off left center. And then leading off the 8th inning against Joe Thatcher, Adam would do it again. And for Dunn, those are his 18th, 19th, and 20th homers of the 2007 season, or 2010 season, pardon me. And by the way, I know some Nats fans are watching. Got to be watching over in Ocean City, Maryland today, enjoying great sights, and they're within the Masson footprint, and they bring you this day in history. Flores, Bernardina, and Espinoza, bottom 7. Sean Burdette for the 8th. Fights one off. Flores will hit that foul ball down the line. He knew it was foul off the bat. And the count 0-2. Rockies have been pounding him on the inner half of the plate all day. Matt Reynolds, one of the 2 Rocky lefties in that bullpen. An 8-man bullpen, by the way.
So when Bryce Harper scored the Ryan Zimmerman ball in the dirt, they did not rule that a stolen base?
No,
for Bryce?
They said it was a throwing error on the catcher, allowing the run to score because the throw was so bad it got away from the second baseman. I think if the second baseman gloves that ball cleanly, they would have given Harper a stolen base or a steal of home.
Well, I've been watching video that whole break, and Bryce Harper left before that ball was bobbled, and it should have been ruled a stolen base.
Well, they could change that later if they look at that video. That'll be the Rockies' second error of the day. Chris Nelson gets that one. Rockies, one of the bottom defensive clubs in the league. They've made their 65th and 66th errors today, and that ties them with the Giants for the most errors in the league.
And with the naked eye carp, just getting back to that, and hopefully we'll have some video to show.
Third error of the day, by the way.
A great read by Zimmerman. And now watch Bryce at third base. Here's the throw from Rosario. This is the best shot we have. He doesn't hesitate. If you wait till the ball gets by the middle infielder, you're going to stop and then start up again to score the run. As soon as that ball was released out of Rosario's hand, Bryce Harper broke for home, and that's what I saw originally. And then they were telling me it wasn't ruled a stolen base. I think that's a stolen base.
I agree. I think they may review that. How about that? A rookie with 2 steals of home. Larceny. Add on here, and Davey Johnson will fire a couple of his bullets. We'll tell you about that in a moment. Take the Nats with you everywhere you go. When you're out of this market, MLB.tv keeps you in touch with your first place Nats. Every game live online on your favorite device in HD quality. Visit Nationals.com for more details and to order MLB.tv. Baseball everywhere. Left-hander Matt Reynolds for the Rockies' 39th appearance.
Yeah, 34 strikeouts versus 9 walks, 38 hits and 36 in the third inning. You see the average against.
Lombardozzi from the right side. Davey Johnson trying to get him a couple of at-bats here. How about one to lay down a perfect bunt? That thing checked up like a good golf chip. And the ball is on the ground. Michael Kadire couldn't find it. It was laying up against the bag. And Lombardozzi is safe.
He couldn't find it, and I couldn't find it up here. I thought it was in his glove. You look down, and it's pinned up against the front side of first base. Good bunt right here, getting it down. Oh, a little pop-up action. Rosario out, low throw. Where's the ball? Where is it? Where is it? Camouflage right in first base. Not a bad throw from Rosario. It's just big-time handcuff Michael Kadire.
They're going to give Lombardozzi a base hit on that bunt. I'm thinking Jim Reynolds must have thought he would be safe even with a good throw. Now they say sacrifice in E3, which we thought it should be to begin with. That is Colorado's 4th error today. They had already posted a hit on the board before the announcement. Well, this goes on much longer. The Rockies might make it to 70 errors. Started the day with 64. Nobody out. Espinoza shows bunt and then walks right through a ball inside. Adam Ottavino. We were impressed with his gas in Colorado last week. Espinoza looking to bunt again. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So the Nats, without a base hit or a walk, have 2 men aboard, nobody out here in the 7th, with Bryce Harper next. And the count 1-2. Danny's going to have to walk that one off for a moment.
You see him coming right down to that baseball, just cutting over the top. Got him on the shin. That's going to leave a mark and be an all-star break shin burger.
And Danny will take that one outside. Jesus Flores reaching on an error by Chris Nelson, the third baseman, to lead off the inning. Danny Espinoza batting behind Lombardozzi, who laid down a good bunt and then was safe on a dropped ball error by Michael Kadire, the first baseman. 3-2 now to Espinoza. And he'll swing and miss at a ball tailing out of the zone. Lefty-lefty matchup. Bryce Harper coming in. We'll check it on the Kinetic North America pitch track.
A two-seam fastball, 89 miles an hour on the outer half. Espinoza trying to foul it off or go the other way. Just can't make contact.
Nelson has to play in at third, respecting Harper's speed. Outfield absolutely straight away in this southpaw matchup. That breaking ball was hanging up and in. Well, between the bottom of the 6th and the bottom of the 7th, the Rockies must feel like they've been on defense forever here.
Yeah, we talked about time of possession being a huge factor in this baseball game with the heat on the field in a day game. And the hottest days of the year here in D.C. And when would it rear its ugly head late? And you're seeing the 4 errors by the Rockies. They've been standing on defense the longest. We said it in the 1st, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th inning. That's when the concentration goes on hot day games, because it's just hard to sit out there and be focused for that long.
Jim Tracy's ball club, 19 games under the 500 mark. Tied with the Cubs for the worst record in the league. Harper on a breaking ball. 2-2. And he looks at a straight change that's low. Good take by the rookie. His command of the strike zone still pretty impressive.
Just a lot more relaxed this homestand. Everything's slowing down for him again. He said he goes through spells like that where, you know, even in the minor leagues, the game speeds up every once in a while. He slows it down.
Harper out of play barely on 3-2.
And he's another guy that's really going to benefit from the break. Been playing so hard every single day since he's been called up. That one off day in Boston, he still got in the baseball game and made an impact. But even though he's 19 years old, you think, hey, you could just run him into the ground. He's only 19. What is he feeling? You still, when you're on base as much as he is and running around as much as he is, you get tired.
Bobby Parnell's on the mound in the 9th inning at New York. Mets lead the Cubs 3-1. Jason Mott is on the mound in the 9th inning in St. Louis as the Marlins are down to their last out, trailing 3-2. So it looks like the Mets will be hanging around with the Nats into the final day before the break. 3-2 to Harper here. And he'll hit one to the second baseman. They'll turn it for their 3rd double play of the day. 4-6-3 on that one. I'm sure the Rockies are feeling, finally, here comes the 8th inning. One out hitting the Rockies 7-3. Opportunistic offense. They forced Colorado into numerous mistakes today. But really the bottom line in this game, nice collar by the way. Gio Gonzalez again. Now, this is Sunday in Atlanta, and today here, dealing with triple-digit temperatures.
Yeah, he did such a great job. I mean, the fastball, curveball command, the changeup was outstanding. He went out there and just battled, and I think that's the optimal word when it's this hot. You just got to go out there and compete and battle. Gio did a nice job, and it's so hot that our callers are having trouble staying down today. I mean, it's hot up here, but can you imagine doing what he did on the field today?
Yeah.
Just a great outing. Maybe one of the better outings considering the conditions today for Gio Gonzalez all season long.
102 pitches. As much anticipation as we had for him, 12 wins possibly at the All-Star break?
Yeah, long way to go. Sean Burnett on for the 8th. It's all about the bridge to Burnett, get to Clippard. But, yeah, that's a heck of a first half for Gio Gonzalez. And we're at the halfway point. I guess, you know, being a math major like I am, he's on pace for a 24-win season if he wins today.
Summa cum laude from Miami.
Yep.
Swing and a miss in the 8th inning is underway. Steve Lombardozzi, the Nats' third left fielder of the day. Top of the order for the Rockies, Dexter Fowler. Another 2-hit day for him. He's 4 for 7 in this series. Sean Burnett has been outstanding. Brings a 1.47 ERA into this one. 31 strikeouts in 31 innings. A better than 4-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio.
You just see the two-seam fastball all season long, darting, dipping away from right-handers. We've seen some of the best right-handers in baseball take funny-looking swings off the two-seam fastball from Sean Burnett.
Dexter Fowler has another hit. So he's 5 out of 8 here. And aboard in the 8th inning. Nats by 3. This game far from over against the second best run scoring team in the National League.
He came into today hitting 266 right-handed, 299 left-handed, but that average went up with 3 hits against a left-hander today. Single his first time up, double his third time up, single right there. So that's his weak side, left-handed. Much better hitter.
Burnett ahead of Marco Scutaro. 0 for 2 with a walk today. So I know you often say sometime the save comes in the 7th inning or the 8th. Today it might be the 8th, considering who these hitters are.
Well, yeah.
Gonzalez and Kadire, the next 2 after this guy, who's really tough to keep from putting the ball in play. And it's big when a pitcher gets ahead of Marco Scutaro 0 for 2 with that guy on deck, because he's so selective and he can coax a walk.
Well, if you're Marco Scutaro right now, you're trying to get the tying run to the plate in the form of cargo. So you're thinking leadoff mentality. Dexter Fowler's on first base, but if you're Scutaro, you're doing anything you can to get to first base to get the big guy up as the tying run.
Little tapper right side. They'll get the lead runner. Desmond will relay it, and no chance to get Scutaro. But a nice play by Danny Espinosa on the 4-6.
How many double play combinations in baseball make that slow roller from an above average runner that close? You're wondering if Espinosa is just going to get the force at first base, or just the routine out at first base, I should say. But he decides to get the force at second. And Desmond with that strong arm, a flat-footed throw right here. You see Dexter Fowler get wide right there and try to get in Espinosa's throwing lane? Bananaed out right at the end to try to wear that ball in his back to get Carlos Gonzalez up to the plate, representing the tie and run. Heady play. 3
strikeouts Gonzalez today. Gio got him on strikes all 3 times. Half of his 6 strikeouts. And Sean Burnett's done well against this tough lefty as well. This is the big out right here, because Kadire cannot represent the tying run if they get Gonzalez. Runner goes. He better make it. And he does. The Nats thought they had him. Desmond gave the ball to Espinosa to throw it around the horn. And James Hoy calls Marco Scutaro safe. Here comes Davey Johnson. Good throw by Jesus Flores.
Well, Ian Desmond doing the right thing. He's going to walk away and let his manager take over this argument. But either way, down by 3 runs with Carlos Gonzalez at the plate, it can't be that close at second base for a veteran player like Marco Scudero.
That's why I said he'd better make it. If he gets thrown out, Rockies might as well cash in the rest of this inning.
I mean, the throw beat him. It looked like the tag was on him. I don't know if there was a phantom tag here or what. But Ian Desmond, with Adam LaRoche behind him, Marco Scudero thinking, I'm going to rip this bag, and it was pretty close. And I don't know if he got him with the tag. I can't tell by those replays.
Yeah. If he made contact with the tag, the runner looked out.
And I can't tell from that one either. This will show it.
There's look like contact.
Yeah, he got his batting gloves. Did you see that?
Batting gloves are part of the man. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And the argument between James Hoy and Davey Johnson, very short. And you know why arguments are short? Sometimes umpires will say, I missed it. And then that's the end of the argument. You can't say anything else as a manager, as a player, once an umpire says that. I don't know if that's what happened, but sometimes short arguments, there's nothing left to be said when the umpire says, I kicked it, I missed it.
Bouncing ball right side. Adam LaRoche will take it to the bag. So that's the big second out right there the Nats were looking for.
But, I mean, just cleaning that up a little bit, we had to watch 4 replays, and on the 4th or 5th one in Exmo, we saw the tag hit the tip of Marco Scudero's batting gloves.
Yeah.
James Hoy gets 1 shot in fast motion, folks. That's not an easy call.
But we will add to that umpires usually call the guy out when the throw is there. The Washington area Toyota dealers helping children receiving medical treatment with their families at the National Institutes of Health. Children's Inn at NIH gets $37 for every strikeout. The batter is Michael Kadire. A double, a run scored, a walk today. Sac fly last night. He's driven in 50 runs. The Rockies having a tough year, or else the free agent pickup of Michael Kadire would be getting a whole lot more notice in the West and around the National League than it has. This guy's come up big for Colorado after all those years in Minnesota. Rockies signed him to a multi-year deal, 3 years on December 20th, after 10 years in Minnesota. Burnett has him reaching, unable to get it. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, that's the disappearing 2-seamer on the outer half to right-handers that we've seen all year.
Outfield around to the right. Burnett throws a breaking ball and strikes him out. Nationals bullpen, 2 more scoreless innings today. This one into the bottom of the 8th. It's all Washington. They've out-hit the Rockies 7-4. Remember, your Washington area Lexus dealers donate $200 to the Children's National Medical Center every time a Nat hits a home run this year. Ian Desmond's gone deep. The Nationals, one more, and they'll be at the 90 mark this season. So many things to like about this ball club. The timely hitting lately. The defense, which has been steady all the way through. And again today, that bullpen. Adam Ottavino trying to keep this a 3-run game. And he has to face 3, 4, 5 for the Nats. Zimmerman, Morse, and LaRoche, bottom 8. And a guy who is getting ready for a trip to the All-Star game at this time last year is warming up. We know Gio's going, maybe with 12 wins.
He's a veteran, but he's on the right team this year. Last year, not so much.
Tyler Clippard was the winning pitcher in that game last year.
He was.
Last year, so often it was clip and save with Tyler in the 8th and Drew Storen in the 9th. What is it this year? Burn and clip. Burnett 8th inning, and now Clippard saving these games until Drew Storen gets back, and we'll see how Davey plays it at that point. 2-0 to Zimmerman. A walk, a base hit, a RBI, and a run scored today. Another good day by Ryan. His batting average is on a relentless march toward the 250 mark.
Well, we said when he was struggling, you're always going to get to your handicap if you're a golfer, regardless of what you shoot on the front side. And he's going to have a pretty good back 9.
Here's a number for you. When the Nats took the field against the Orioles 2 weeks ago tomorrow for the final game of that series, Ryan Zimmerman was hitting .218. That's the kind of 2 weeks he has had. He was 5 for 49 before he got that first base hit that day, and then added another one after taking the cortisone shot. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball. Rosario keeps it close, and Ryan's retired. Bottom 8, 1 out. Today's copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Washington Nationals. Michael Morse and Adam LaRoche now, the next two.
And for that matter, Michael Morse, when we went to Colorado, was hitting .217. And now he's hitting .285.
Morse 1 for 3. High in the air, near the right field foul pole, and a little short, little foul. That one stays inside. $28,032 paid today. And just kind of getting ready to rev it up one more time for the top of the 9th, when Tyler Clippard will face Tyler Colvin, a pinch hitter, maybe Jason Giambi or Todd Helton, and then Willeen Rosario.
28,030 passed out.
Right now, Adam Ottavino flashing that big breaking ball that he threw in Colorado last week, and it's even bigger here at sea level.
Yeah, two-pitch guy, fastball, slider. He likes to throw the slider almost half the time.
Adam LaRoche 0 for 2 with a walk today. And that'll be 2 outs here in the 8th.
And just like we promised earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Some Nats are seeing the baseball as big as that Miller baseball. I guess Ian Desmond's one of them. 16th home run of the year. Nice catch, little man out there. Everybody fired up in the Nats dugout. Ian Desmond continuing his fantastic season.
Side door breaking ball, breaks back to get a strike on Adam LaRoche. And it looked like Mike DeMuro wanted to call that a strike. It's a fastball away, 2-1. Don't forget about the rest of the weekend down there in Woodbridge at Fitzner Stadium, the Potomac Nationals. I do believe they got some more fireworks down there tonight. 703-590-2311 or PotomacNationals.com.
You see what happened in San Diego with their fireworks show?
No, I didn't.
A computer glitch.
Uh-oh.
And all the fireworks went off in 15 seconds. It was supposed to be a 20-minute show. They all went off at once.
I'm surprised they didn't scramble all the carriers from the Navy base right across the bay. Oh, my God.
I saw it on video. I thought it was cool. I mean, you want a nice long fireworks show, but set them all off at once. 15 seconds.
2 balls and 2 strikes. LaRoche will give Adam Ottavino 3 strikeouts here. And it is Tyler Clipper time. The Nats 3 outs away from win number 49. Masson, brought to you by Dodge. Go to Dodge.com or visit your local Dodge dealer this weekend. And by Verizon Fios. Introducing Verizon Fios Quantum Speed. Internet twice as fast as anything America has ever seen.
Is that Niagara Falls?
Down up in Georgetown, they're trying to reinvent Niagara Falls. I think for the folks up there, that's good enough. Let's have a look at our Cholula hot sauce pitching recap, bringing the heat and the flavor and serious pitching. Gonzalez, Matthews, Burnett today, especially Gio.
Check out the Flames. Gio Gonzalez throwing the flames. 94-mile-an-hour fastball. We got that video from the parking lot in the 6th inning. We just made it a graphic.
You frying some eggs out there?
Yeah. Pretty good outing considering the heat. Considering anything, but when you add the heat to it, what Gio Gonzalez did today, very, very impressive.
Well, the Nats have been winning some games handily lately. Tyler Clippard should be nice and strong and fresh. Not a whole lot of stress as the Washington closer, but this is a very important one to get. Setting up a rubber game of the 3-game set tomorrow. Tyler Clippard faces Tyler Colvin, who today is 0 for 2 with a walk and a couple of ground balls. Had him reaching. As Red Barber used to say, that's a can of corn. Center field, 1 out. Now a pinch hitter coming up for the pitcher. It'll be Eric Young. Tune into the Nats Extra postgame show. Johnny and Ray right here at the ballpark, presented by W.B. Mason, as soon as this one is over. Speedy Eric Young, 7 for 36 as a pinch hitter this year. One ball and no strikes. Tyler Clippard, career against Eric Young. 0 for 1 is Young with a strikeout. There's that changeup, deadly, 82 at the knees, and the count's even.
And when he keeps it down in the zone like that, even if you do make contact, there's not a whole lot you can do with it.
And by the way, the Mets closed out that 3-1 win over the Cubs. And Miami dropped their game at St. Louis just over, 3-2 there. So if the Nats hold on, the Mets will be 4.5 back still. Miami will drop to 9. And then the Braves play at Philadelphia behind Tommy Hanson tonight against Joe Blanton. Two balls, one strike. Little flare to center. Here comes Harper. Unable to get there. Rocky's still alive. One more runner to get the tying run in the batter's box. Cholula hot sauce on the pitch track.
Everything down in the zone. Good pitch by Clippard. Young with a bloop single. Bryce Harper coming on fast. You thought he might try to lay out for that, but that's a good job of keeping that ball in front. And he came up and he was looking to backdoor Young at first base. Young took a big turn and he was thinking about making a throw.
Here's Rosario, the catcher. 0 for 3 today. Tyler Clippard did not face him in the series last week in Colorado.
And Rosario can hit a fastball. We've seen him struggle with off speed away. And you wonder if Clippard goes to that curveball in the outer half somewhere in this sequence.
High in the air and out of play, right side. And that strike will even the count. Nationals are trying to win their 24th game of the year at home. They've won 25 on the road. And Davy Johnson's ball club, if they hold on here, will have a chance to go into the All-Star break with 50 W's. One ball, one strike. Short lead by Young, who can fly. Clippard gets a ground ball, but it's going to get through. So the Rockies will get the tying run to the plate in the 9th.
Well, here comes either Todd Helton or Jason Giambi, one or the other. Jim Tracy's got to go for the knockout blow, the tie-in run, with the power hitter coming to the plate.
It's going to be Giambi. They call Herrera back. And Jason Giambi does have a pinch hit home run this year, 3 RBIs.
Well, this game just got a whole lot more interesting after the base hit by Rosario. Salvage 0 for 3 into a 1 for 4, and he brings the tying run to the plate in the form of Jason Giambi.
Pretty good numbers as a pinch hitter this year. 5 for 16 with a home run and 3 RBIs. So that's a .313 batting mark. Had a walk-off pinch hit homer May 2nd in Colorado against the Dodgers.
0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts, career versus Clippard.
Sounds good.
Clippard will take a ground ball over a strikeout right here, though.
81 on the changeup, inner half.
Those kind of numbers will keep you around for as long as you want to play.
He's still getting it done at the age of 41. 18th year in the big leagues. One of those guys who lives for situations like this. Flores waits to set his target. It's up and in. And Clippard throws 93 right by him. And that was on the inner half of the plate. You better be sure at this stage of a game to give something he might be able to pull. But FP, you know this. That changeup sets up that heat.
Yeah, and that was the pitch Jason Giambi was thinking about when he grabbed a bat, got loose in the tunnel. That center cut fastball from Clippard got on him.
2 on, 1 out. And he goes changeup, and it's low.
Well, he's seeing that changeup early right out of Clippard's hands. Didn't even flinch for that pitch. And how many hitters have we seen on that low changeup after the fastball? Swing right over the top. Hands didn't even start.
Huge moment in this game. And Giambi unable to get over the top of that heater, but he fouled it back. Saw Jesus Flores kind of waffling back and forth. Doesn't want anybody to know where the target is too early.
And Clippard taking a deep breath. Good battle right here. There's 2 options. He can go with that changeup again, or he could try to climb the ladder with the fastball. But if you go up there with it, you better make it be up.
That's a called third strike on the outside corner. A perfect 94-mile-an-hour fastball. 1 out to go.
Well, you couldn't run it down there and hand it to Jesus Flores any better than this. Look where the target is. Did the glove move? Giambi thought it was outside. Pitch track thought it was outside. And Mike DeMuro's the only one that matters, and he called it a strike. Fastball looks like it's just off the plate. Flores moves it back. Giambi said, "Are you kidding me? It's not a strike. It's not a strike."
Chris Nelson, the hitter. This guy's got some pop. 5 homers in part-time play, 23 RBIs. And that one, ball 1. A long, hot day of baseball. Game just over 3 hours old.
That's what summertime's all about. Long, hot days of baseball. Where else would you rather be?
Nelson late for 93. And the count's even 1-1. Raining in Philadelphia. Braves and the Phils delayed getting started tonight. Crystal clear and blazing. 104 degrees at game time 3 hours ago here. That's strike two. Swing a grounder, and it's foul. For a bounce, looked like Zimmerman could go right to the bag, and Chris Nelson stays alive.
Dexter Fowler on deck. This pitch becomes huge.
Oh my gosh, the way he's swinging the bat, better believe it. 3 for 4 today. 5 hits in the series. Tyler Clippard 1 and 2 to Nelson. Who laid off the changeup. This game is over. Another call on the corner.
2 perfect fastballs on the black. First one to Giambi. Second one to Chris Nelson. You talk about command control in a big time situation. Tyler Clippard, serious paint right there to end this ball game. And now it's set up for tomorrow for the Nats to go to win number 50 before the All-Star break. How about that?
Tyler Clippard has a scoreless streak now of 19 1/3 innings. Almost untouchable. Only Ryan Dempster of the Cubs has a longer scoreless streak going. Gio's all smiles with his 12th win. The Nationals are 49 and 33.